Welcome to Weekly Bible Study with Morah, Bahtshevah. Where my mission, goal, slogan, and purpose is to put God back into our relationships. 1 Kings Chapter 9 verse 7, And Israel shall be a proverb and a byword among all people, from slave to Negro, to colored, to black, to Afro-American, to African-American, to Hebrew Israelite. How good and pleasant it is when brothers dwell together in unity. Psalms chapter 133 verse 1. Breaking the chains of mental and spiritual slavery with the Word of God. From Gentile to Christian Jew, to Jewish Hebrew, to Hebrew Israelite, to Hebrew. Come, and let us return unto Yah, for he hath torn, and he will heal us, he hath smitten, and he will bind us up. Hosea chapter 6 verse 1. Special thanks to Chantal B., programming assistant and moderator. Thanks for watching.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the creator of the heavens, the earth, the seas, and all that in them is. My Savior, my Redeemer, even the Savior and Redeemer of Yisrael. Almighty God, I thank and praise you for another opportunity to praise your holy and righteous name and to repent of our foreparents, parents, our children, and our children's sins. Because truly, we've been walking contrary to your laws from the days of our youth. Because we have a whore's forehead and refuse to be ashamed. Because we love these traditions, precepts, customs, and ideologies of men. But our leaders cause the people to err, and they who are letting them are being destroyed, Almighty Yah. They're being totally destroyed. And I ask that you please judge them as men and women who defile a marital bed by breaking the covenants of marriage through adultery, and as men and women who shed innocent blood through murder. For the blood of your people are upon their hands, because they failed to warn the people of your impending wrath, which is your impending judgment, and they failed to teach the people your laws, that if a man walks therein, he should live. Therefore, the people are dying in their sins, but their blood will be required of these false leaders and teachers who fail to be watchmen. Continue to magnify the law and make it honorable. Continue to make the crooked things straight, and continue to reveal your righteousness to your servants, even your servants who are Morahs, prophets, and prophetess. And I pray that they lean not to their own understanding, neither turn to the right hand nor to the left, but stay on you in truth, righteousness, equity, justice, meekness, and fear, letting you guide our feet, direct our path, while helping us to eschew evil, thus keeping a wall of protection around us and our household. Almighty Yah, I ask you to open our eyes so we can see your goodness throughout this earth, so we can walk in your ways and live, to unstop our ears so we can hear your words, which are your laws, and then seek you with a perfect and sincere heart. I thank and praise you for all the blessings, mercies, benefits, and grace that you have bestowed upon all of your servants, even the children of Yisrael. For truly, you have been good to Yisrael, for your mercies endure forever. They are new each day, and I thank you for them. Selah. Shalom, shalom alaikum, and hello to all whomever you are, wherever you are, and wherever you are doing. My name is Bahtshevah, and welcome to my weekly Bible study class where my mission, goal, purpose, and slogan is to put God back into our relationships. Because when we leave God out of our relationships, we remove everything that is holy, righteous, just, and truthful in our lives. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 4 says, They that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law have to contend with them. In other words, those who keep the law have to debate, battle, and argue with the wicked who seek to abolish, amend, or discredit the word of God. Israel, it's time to take back our life, our way of life, our God, our laws, our communities, our children, and even our relationship with the Most High Yah, the Elohim of our forefathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, also known as the God of the Hebrews. Hallelujah. The focus of this channel is for us to renew or begin to form a new relationship with the God of our forefathers. I take verses and our chapters from the Holy Scriptures and show how relatable they are to us in this present time, and as well as how relatable they are to our marriages, our family, our neighbors, and even our God. I pray that you all are well and in a good mood to learn about the Most High Yah. Before we get started, if anyone has any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the chat or the comment section down below the video. And as usual, please don't show hate to anyone in the comment section nor the chat. We are all adults here. Also, disclaimer, beware that I am not all knowing nor omnipotent. Therefore, some things are hidden by God, and He alone reveals the secret things to whom He pleases. Thank you. Now, it's time to get started. I said I'll be back. I've been back 4 times this week. I ain't playing with the word of the Most High. Yeah. Time has run out for this foolishness, lies, and deception. I refuse to sugarcoat, water down, or pussyfoot around with the truth just to spare hurt feelings. When our people are being destroyed, Yisrael, destroyed at an alarming rate. I am accountable to the Most High, yeah, for what I say up here in front of you guys. And I take it seriously. And I love being in front of you guys and teaching the word of the Most High Yah. But as usual, now I will ask the Most High Yah for guidance, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of His words that can be found in the Holy Scriptures from Genesis to Malachi. And that is not my intention nor my purpose to mislead, misguide, nor misdirect anyone off the path of righteousness. Hallelujah. So, we're going to talk about the dietary laws today. And the topic is Forbidden Feast Part 2, a deep dive manual into our food supply, hidden and forbidden unclean ingredients. And I'm here for it. Jeremiah chapter 10 says, Do not start following pagan religious practices. Do not be in awe of signs that occur in the sky, even though the nations hold them in awe. In other words, the Most High said, learn not the ways of these nations. And that include what we eat, Israel. We can't go around eating anything just because the other nations eating it and because we can now afford to buy it. For some odd reason, we think we're eating high off the hog. when we get a little money, we want to start buying shrimp, oysters, crab, lobster, and think just because rich people eat it, okay, now I can eat it now. But it's not unclean. I'm sleek but it's not clean. The Most High has order. He has a blueprint, a manual for his people. He command us to be holy. Because why? He is holy. And he chose us. He separated us. He sanctified us to be separate from all these nations and to be a priestly nation. So everyone can see our good works and say, oh, that's an almighty Yah they're serving. I want to serve him too. But no, we want to be like the other nations. We want to run behind them and eat like they eat, dress like they dress, talk like they talk, and behave like they behave. And we love when we get a little money, go move into their neighborhood. We don't think we made it until we move into their neighborhood, marry their daughters and sons, wear their name brand clothes, and drive their fancy cars. And that's all out of order. That's not according to the Most High Yah. We had to get back, go back to the blueprint, go back to the manual. It's called the Holy Scriptures. The Creator, He created us. And we came with a blueprint. We came with a manual. Just as you go to the store and buy an electronic device and it has a manual, we have a manual. We came with a manual. And we need to return back to it, Israel. Time is running out. We are dying exponentially. We're not living a long time anymore. And why? Because of what we put in our bodies and on our bodies. And because of sin. Because we are being murdered. Our children are being murdered through abortion. Our young children are being murdered on the streets, in the homes, through child abuse. I mean, we don't stand a chance. Our young men on the streets. I mean, all out of order. Women holding it down while men at home not working. All out of order, Israel. But to return back to order, back to the Most High. That's our only saving grace. That's the only way we're going to surpass all this evil and wickedness that's being brought down upon us on a daily basis. We have turned from Yah, and Yah gave us over to our wickedness, and we don't even see it, don't understand it, and don't even care. But without further ado, let's get into the lesson. Let's talk about it. The dietary laws. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat as I'm talking, and I will address your comments when I get finished with the lesson. Okay, Yisrael. The dietary laws, clean and unclean foods. A deep dive manual into our food supply by Morah Bahtshevah. Hallelujah. Overview. For thou art a holy people to Yah thy God, and Yah thy God has chosen thee to be a peculiar people to himself of all the nations on the face of the earth, Yisrael. So we'll be talking about the summary of the dietary laws. Yesterday, I discussed Leviticus Chapter 11 and also Deuteronomy Chapter 14. So tonight, I will do a summary so we can go into the blood and animal fat, seedless fruits and veggies, how to recognize unclean ingredients, organic, non-GMO, GMO, GE, and hybrid products, preservatives, artificial flavoring, artificial coloring, artificial ingredients, healthy and unhealthy cooking methods, also nursing versus bottled milk. Summary of dietary laws in Leviticus chapter 11. Hebrews are only allowed to eat animals that have both a cloven hoof and choose the cud. These are the beasts which ye may eat: the ox, the sheep, the goat, the hart, the gazelle, the roebuck, the wild goat, the pygarg, the antelope, and the mountain sheep, found in Deuteronomy chapter 14, verses 4 through 5. Animals that either chew at the cud but are not cloven hoof, or are cloven hoof but does not chew the cud, are not to be eaten. For example, camel, rock badger, which is a coney, hare, which is a rabbit, horse, and swine, which is a pig. And note at the bottom, coney, Shaphan, Leviticus chapter 11, verse 5, Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 7, means a rabbit. An older term for an adult rabbit is coney, while rabbit referred only to the young animals. Definition of cloven, split hoof, and chewing cud. Cloven hoof, split hoof. An animal has a cloven hoof, cleft hoof, divided hoof, or split hoof when the hoof is divided into two distinct sections or split into two toes. For example, the hoof of a cow is divided, whereas the hoof of a horse is not cloven or divided. Members of the mammalian order, or the Artiodactyla, that possess this type of hoof include cattle, deer, pigs, but pigs does not chew the cud. Antelope, in other words, pigs have a cloven hoof, but they don't chew the cud because they unclean. But these other animals are clean: antelopes, gazelles, goats, and sheep. So chewing the cud. Animals that chew cud store food in their stomachs and later regurgitate it to chew it further. This process is also known as rumination. Example of animals that chew cud include cattle, cows, deer, sheep, goats, gazelles, antelopes, etc. These animals are known as ruminants. Summary continued. Everything in the water that had both fins and scales can be used for food. It has to have both fins and scales, not one and not the other, but both. And anything without both fins and scales are detestable. God forbids the eating of certain birds: eagles, vultures, black vultures, which are buzzards, kites, falcons, ravens, ostriches, nighthawks, seagulls, hawks, little owls, cormorants, which is a fisher owl, great owls, screech, horned white owl, pelicans, carrion vultures, storks, herons, hoopoes, and bats. Insects with wings that walk on four legs were not to be eaten, except for insects with jointed legs above their feet, such as locusts, cricket, and grasshopper. Animals that walked on all fours on their paws were unclean. For example, dogs, cats, leopards, tigers, lions, lynx, etc. Moles, rats, mice, great lizards, sand lizards, and chameleons are unclean. Not only are Hebrews forbidden from eating these unclean beasts, birds, and insects, but they are forbidden from touching their carcasses, which are dead bodies. If a person touched their carcasses, which is dead bodies, he or she will be unclean until the evening. Additionally, anything an unclean beast's carcass touches, wood, clothing, skin, bags, etc., are unclean until the evening and has to be washed in water. If a carcass falls into an earthen jar or pot, the vessel is to be broken. You have to destroy it. If a dead body touches an earthen jar or pot, the vessel has to be broken because an earthen jar or pot is porous. It's porous. Think about a clay pot. That's all it's saying. A clay pot is porous. It absorbs whatever you put in it. Because I have one, and I have some house plants, and it consumes a lot of water. If a clean animal died of natural causes, that means it wasn't slaughtered, and it was touched, carried, or eaten. Those who came in contact with it are unclean until the evening and are required to wash their clothes. Animals that crawled on their stomachs, snakes and worms, and insects with many legs, such as caterpillars, scorpions, spiders, and centipedes, are not to be eaten. You can't eat that. Ugh. These laws were designed to consecrate. I'm sorry, Sluka. These laws were designed to consecrate the children of Yisrael and to make them a distinct people among the nations. God commanded them, saying, "You shall therefore be holy, for I am holy." That's the purpose, Yisrael. The Creator said He's holy. He commands us to be holy. Yisrael, not the other nations. We are supposed to be a light, a priest to the other nations, to bring them unto the Most High Yah through our righteous works and behaviors. Clean beasts, verses 2 and 3. Clean beasts are cow, goat, sheep, deer, gazelle, wild goat, moose, elk, bison, antelope, mountain sheep, wild ox, roebuck, bygard, ibex, caribou, buffalo, and yes, Jonathan Evans, giraffe. I looked it up, and I recall back in the day I did hear them teach that you could eat a giraffe, even though I don't want to eat a giraffe. So shalom, shalom, my brother. You are exactly correct. Unclean beasts, verses 4 through 7, they includes the swan, first on the list, that pig. The hare, that's that rabbit. The horse, the coney, which is a rock badger, which I just mentioned that it's a adult rabbit. The camel, the zebra, gorilla, elephant, mule, rhinoceros, hippopotamus, donkey, bear, kangaroo, monkey, and llama. And just because some of these animals are not on this list doesn't mean that it is unclean and doesn't mean that it is clean. You have to do your research, Israel. I'm getting the popular ones. Clean water creatures, verse 9. And they are perch, brim, bluegill, buffalo, salmon, trout, tilapia, bass, cod, herring, haddock, halibut, sardines, sole, crappie, flounder, carp, cod, pollock, tuna, whiting, snapper, pike, grouper, yellowtail kingfish, mackerel, pickerel, minnow, and bluefish. And as I just mentioned, just because some are not on here doesn't mean that they clean or not unclean. Unclean water creatures, verse 10. Shrimp, oyster, lobster, crab, crawfish, clam, catfish, jellyfish, mussel, sturgeon, squid, porpoise, which is a small dolphin-like animal, or creature rather, shellfish, shark, eel, whale, dolphin, swordfish, octopus, scallop, otter, prawn, seal, and walrus. Unclean fowls, verses 13 through 19. Then a great vulture. It's an eagle. The eagle, properly the griffon vulture or great vulture, so called from its tearing its prey with its beak, referred to for its swiftness of flight, its mounting high in the air, its setting its nest in high places, and its power of vision. So I'm gonna describe some of these unclean fowls in details because they are birds of prey. They are scavenger birds, as vultures are, feeding mostly on the carcasses of dead animals. Vultures are found on every continent except Antarctica and Oceania. Oceania. Osprey or osprey, buzzard, the fish-eating eagle, one of the lesser eagles, common name for a bird of prey related to the hawk and the New World vulture and found near water in most parts of the world. It feeds solely on live fish and usually seen hovering over the water into which it plunges feet first to grasp its prey. Kite occurs only in Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 13. Among the unclean birds of prey, kite is a common name for a bird of the family, which also includes the hawk. Kites are found near water and marshes in warm parts of the world. They prey mainly on reptiles, frogs, and insects. Falcon, a heterogeneous family of long-winged birds and prey closely related to the hawk. In flight, their wing beats are rapid and powerful, and they swoop hundreds of feet at speeds of up to 200 miles per hour, 320 kph, to capture their prey, mainly birds and small mammals. They kill cleanly, usually breaking the back of their victim. Some falcons eat insects. Raven. Raven is the common name for the largest member of the family Corvidae, crow family. The raven, Corvus corax, is a glossy black scavenging bird about 26 inches long. They are omnivorous and will feed on anything from small animals to nesting birds, eggs, and berries. They will also eat carrion, which is the flesh of dead animals, scavenge from other predators, and even from human landfills. Ostrich, a large, a large bird native of Africa and Arabia, nearly 10 feet high, having a long neck and short wings. Ostriches are polygamous. Male species breed with polygamous. I'm sorry. Ostriches are polygamous. Male species breed with more than one female species at the same time, like our brothers want to do in polygyny. It is the largest of all known birds and perhaps the swiftest of all cursorial animals. Ostriches are omnivores. Although most of their diet is plant based, they occasionally feed on fallen fruit or small animals such as mice, lizards, frogs, grasshoppers, and locusts. Hawk is the name generally applied to the smaller members of the heterogeneous family of diurnal birds of prey. such as the eagle, the kite, the old world vulture, and the secretary bird. Hawks belong to the same order as the falcon, the new world vulture, and the osprey. Hawks have keen sight, sharply hooked bills, and powerful feet with curved talons. Strong and graceful in flight, they are distinguished from falcons by their broader, rounded wings. Hawks most commonly feed on small mammals, insects, fish, reptiles, amphibians, and on other birds. Riding its prey to the ground. It's a shame. Ooh. Sea mew or seagull. A gull is a common name for an aquatic bird. Gulls are larger and bulkier than terns, and their tails are squared rather than forked. Their plumage is usually white with gray or black markings on the back, wings, and head. Their long, narrow wings are adapted to soaring and their webbed feet to swimming. They have strong bills, hooked at the end. They eat clams and fish and sometimes insects, but are most useful as scavengers in harbors and bays. Owl, common name for nocturnal birds of prey, found on all continents. Owls superficially resemble short necked hawks, except that their eyes are directed forward and are surrounded by surrounded by disc of radiating feathers. Their plumage is so soft and fluffy that they are almost noiseless in flight. The order of owls is divided into two families. The barn the barn owls with heart-shaped faces is one, and the typical owls is the other. Owls feed on rodents, toads, and birds, insects, and small birds like the hawks. Cormorant, the Hebrew is shalak. This means plunging or darting down. Ranked among the unclean birds of the same family grouped as the pelican. It is a plunging bird and is common on the coast and the island seas of Palestine. Cormorant is the common name for large aquatic birds related to the gannet and the pelican and are found mainly in temperate and tropical regions, usually on the sea, but also on inland waters. Cormorants are 2 to 3 feet long with thick, generally dark plumage and green eyes. Their feet are webbed and the bill is long with the upper mandible terminally hooked. Expert swimmers, cormorants pursue water, slika, cormorants pursue fish underwater. Swan. Swan is the common name for a large aquatic bird of both hemispheres, related to ducks and geese. It has a long, gracefully curved neck and extremely long, convoluted trachea, which makes possible its far carrying calls. Swans living on salt water would typically eat sea arrow grass, salt marsh grass, eel grass, club rush, and green algae, as well as insects and mollusks. Swans living on fresh water would typically eat pondweed, stonewort, and weejian grass, tadpoles, and insects such as milfoil. Stork. Stork, common name for members of a family of long-legged wading birds. The storks are related to the herons and ibises and are found in most of the warmer parts of the world. Storks have long, broad, powerful wings. In flight, they flap their wings or soar with their legs dangling and their long necks bent back in an S shape. They feed on fish, reptiles, amphibians, mollusks, and insects, which they catch with quick thrusts of their long, heavy bills. Heron. Heron, common name for members of the family Audidae, large wading birds, including the bittern and the egret, found in most temperate regions, but most numerous in tropical and subtropical areas. Herons are usually solitary feeders, patiently stalking their prey, small fish and other aquatic animals, in streams and marshes, and then stabbing them with their short, serrated bills. Oof. Birds of prey. Hoopoe. Hoopoe, common name for a shy, solitary, old world woodland bird, Upupa epops. They are primarily ground feeders and use their long, slender, decurved bills to probe for large insects, worms, and lizards. Hoopoes are particularly enthusiastic foragers of animal droppings and dung heaps, searching for beetles. Less frequently, the hoopoe feeds while airborne, exhibiting its characteristic undulating, erratic flight. Hoopoes are excellent runners. Bat. The body of the bat is mouse-like and usually covered with fine fur. Most bats eat insects and are called insectivores. These bats like to eat beetles, moths, mosquitoes, and more. There are some bats that like to eat fruit, seeds, and pollen from flowers. These bats are called frugivores. There are some bats that eat birds, fish, frogs, lizards, even other bats. There are also some bats that drink blood. Pelican is the last one for this section. And the common name for a large, gregarious aquatic bird of warm regions allied to the cormorants and gannets. Pelicans are heavy-bodied, long-necked birds with large, flat bills. They are graceful swimmers and flyers, often seen flying in long lines or circling at great heights. They feed on fish, but occasionally amphibians, turtles, crustaceans, insects, birds, and mammals are also eaten. Fish are stored in a deep, expansible pouch below the lower mandible. Their young feed from the pouch and throat. Clean birds. Verse 11 of Deuteronomy chapter 14. Of all clean birds you may eat. And they include the turkey, dove, chicken, quail, pigeon, pheasant, sparrow. Note, some lists have duck, geese, and peacock as clean birds. But I question that, so I just put it up there for you guys to let you know that some lists do have it. But back in the day, I was told the duck was unclean, but I could have been taught wrong. So I put it up there for you guys. You check it out for yourself. Clean swarming things are insects. Verses 21 and 22. They are the grasshopper, locust, and cricket. Unclean swarming things. Verses 29 and 30. And these are they which are unclean unto you among the swarming things that swarm upon the earth: the mole, rat, weasel, mouse, sand lizard, monitor lizard, ferret, which is from the weasel family, great lizard, chameleon, wall lizard, salamander, which is a lizard-like creature, and newt is a type of a salamander. Unclean reptiles, beasts, and swarming things. Verse 42. Whatsoever goeth upon the belly, and whatsoever goeth upon all fours, or whatsoever had many feet, even all swarming things that swarm upon the earth, them ye shall not eat, for they are detestable thing. Detestable. It's going to make you unholy. Unclean reptiles and other creeping things include gecko, turtle, snail. Rich people call it escargot. Slug, toad, worm, roach, alligator, crocodile, frog, caterpillar, centipede, spider, and scorpion. Unclean beasts and creeping things: cheetah, panther, dog, cat, lion, elephant, squirrel, jackal, hyena, coyote, groundhog, fox, leopard, lynx, tiger, opossum, porcupine, raccoon, skunk, wolf, wallaby, which is a smaller than a kangaroo. Forbidden contaminants: fat, blood, seedless fruits and veggies, processed meats, and frozen foods. These are all forbidden, Yisrael. Other forbidden food contaminants: do not eat animal fat in our food, especially the fat from pigs, fat bat, salt pork, whatever you call it, that our people use to season food that is labeled as soul food. For Leviticus chapter 3, verse 17 says, "It shall be a perpetual statute throughout your generations in all your dwellings that ye shall eat neither fat nor blood," Yisrael. A perpetual mean forever. Leviticus chapter 7, verse 23 says, "Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, Ye shall eat no fat of ox or sheep or goat. Do not eat flesh with blood still in it. For example, rare, medium rare, etc." Leviticus chapter 7, verse 26 says, "And ye shall eat no manner of blood, whether it be of fowl or of beast, in any of your dwellings." It didn't say you had to be in the land. It said any of your dwellings. No matter means none whatsoever. He said no manner, it means none whatsoever. The Christ said, "You shall eat no manner of blood, whether it be of fowl or of beast, in any of your dwellings. Do not, do not eat seedless fruits or veggies." Genesis chapter 1, verse 29 says, "And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb yielding seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, and which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for food." To you. The Creator said, tree, every tree, which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. It has to have seeds, Israel. It has to have seeds. And I'm going to go over it in depth. This is a manual, and it will be available in PDF to download by this weekend, prayerfully. Processed foods. So, what are processed foods, and are they healthy? According to WebMD, processed foods is any food that has been changed from its natural state. You got processed food. It's supposed to be processed. It's changed from its natural state. Changing a food from its natural state can include washing, cutting, heating, pasteurizing, cooking, canning, freezing, drying, dehydrating, mixing, or packaging. Not all processed foods are unhealthy, but most are because they contain high levels of sugar, salt, fat, flavors, nutrients, and preservatives. Processed foods can be grouped into 4 categories, and they are unprocessed or minimally processed foods, processed culinary ingredients, processed foods, and ultra processed food and drink products. Some processed foods can have an adverse effect on our health and pose significant health risks, such as cancers, diabetes, hypertension, which is high blood pressure, heart disease, obesity, heart attacks, and strokes. In other words, the clean foods that we eat that are changed from its natural state are making us unhealthy. Even though it's clean, it's been altered from its natural state. Group 1 includes fresh fruits and veggies, frozen fruits and veggies without any other ingredients or preservatives, nuts, whole grains such as oats, whole wheat, quinoa, buckwheat, amaranth, brown rice, bulgur, sorghum, corn, millet, etc. Group 2 includes butters, oils, salts, and sugars. They are milled, dried, and pressed to make them easier to use in food preparation and cooking. Group, group 3 includes cheese, fresh bread, canned meats, canned soups, instant soups, canned veggies, and canned fruit and syrup. These are shelf stable foods. Group 4 includes microwave and frozen meals, sugary soft drinks, sweet and savory packaged snacks. They usually contain a lot of preservatives, such as sodium nitrate or sodium nitrite, dyes, sugar, salt, colors, added flavors, or flavor enhancers such as MSG, which is monosodium glutamate, artificial sweeteners, casein, lactose, gluten, whey, corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, hydrogenated oils, invert sugar, protein isolate, and other ingredients that change the texture and appearance of the food. They are unclean, lack of lack of nutrients. Foods that are highly processed are stripped of their basic nutrients in Israel, and this tends to lead to overeating and obesity. Your body is trying to obtain the nutrients that it is lacking. That's why people overeat. These food, GMO, GE, hybrid, these stuff don't have nutrients in it. And processed food, they just have all those fillers in it. So you keep eating, eating, and eating, try to get full because it just has fillers in it. And even though many processed foods have added fiber, vitamins, and minerals, they can't replace the natural nutrients in food. Once the natural nutrients are removed, they can't be replaced with artificial ingredients. Our body is not artificial. We came from the earth. They will. These people are unwise nation. They will remove the nutrients from a product, like they do brown rice to make it white, and then turn around and replace it with something artificial. Now, make that make sense. It's important to note not all processed foods are bad. Some minimally processed foods can be part of a healthy diet, and even some moderately processed foods can provide benefits. However, it's crucial to limit highly processed or ultra processed foods and prioritize whole, unprocessed foods like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, and lean protein sources. Watch your salt intake. A lot of processed foods already contain a lot of salt. So when you're preparing processed foods that are high in salt and you begin to add additional salt, flavorings, or sugar, it becomes an unhealthy combination. I have been around people Soon as they hit the table, they don't even taste the food. They grab the salt and pepper and just start shaking. I never did that. I never could understand it. Don't even taste the food. Just grab the salt and pepper shaking and start shaking. And some people put sugar in just about everything they eat. If you are preparing organic meals at home, you can add spices that give flavor instead of salt. All this salt, salt, salt. When it comes to sodium, it's not just about the amount of salt you put into your food, but also about the MSGs or other additives that contain salt chemically. It is recommended that salt intake should be 2,300 milligrams per day. This is equivalent to 1 teaspoon of salt. Some people say, oh, I can't go over there. Can you guys see that? I hope so. Overeating, obesity, and chronic diseases. Obesity. Highly processed foods are often calorie dense and can contribute to overeating. As I just mentioned about, you keep eating, eating, and eating. Highly processed foods don't have nutrients in them. They're being replaced with unhealthy ingredients. Heart disease. High sodium and unhealthy fats in processed foods can raise blood pressure and cholesterol levels. Type 2 diabetes. High sugar content can lead to insulin resistance and blood sugar imbalances. Cancer. Some processed meats are linked to an increased risk of colorectal cancer. Other health problems. Processed foods may also contribute to digestive problems, inflammation, and other chronic diseases. I call them diseases. Examples of natural and minimally processed foods are first on the list fruits and veggies, plain nuts and seeds, whole grains. These include oats, brown rice, quinoa, and whole wheat bread. Fresh or frozen fish and meats without preservatives or added salt. Canned tuna or meats in water. Low sodium or no added sodium, canned or jarred beans, tomatoes, and veggies. Broth with low sodium or no sodium added nor preservatives. Nut butters without sugar or oils. Legumes, lentils, beans, and peas are excellent sources of protein and fiber. Herbs and spices. These add flavor without the need for artificial ingredients. Remember, even minimally processed foods can become unhealthy if they are fried or prepared with excessive added sugar, salt, or unhealthy fats. Stick to simple cooking methods and enjoy these foods in their most natural forms for optimal health benefits. Examples of unhealthy processed foods are frozen TV dinners, frozen pizzas, sugary sodas, teas, energy drinks, pre made coffee, deli meats called cold cuts, hot dogs, sausages, boxed instant pasta products, for example, mac and cheese, instant mashed potatoes, sweetened breakfast cereal, oatmeal, and cereal bars, instant or canned soups, snacks such as chips, cookies, snack cakes, white sandwich bread, sweetened yogurt, breaded meats such as chicken patties, chicken tenders, chicken nuggets, breaded vegetables such as okra and margarine. Processed Animal flesh. Processed meat refers to meat that has been transformed through salting, curing, fermentation, smoking, or other processes to enhance flavor or improve preservation. Most processed meats contain pork or beef, but processed meats may also contain other red meats, poultry, offal, or meat byproducts such as blood. Examples of processed meat include hot dogs, frankfurters, ham, sausages, corned beef, and biltong, beef jerky, as well as canned meat and meat-based preparations and sauces. According to the World Health Organization, processed meat from hot dogs to deli meats to bacon increases the risk of colorectal cancer, cardiovascular disease, and even early death, according to an article on Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. They are vegans. The World Health Organization has determined that processed meat is a major contributor to colorectal cancer. Cancer classified is as a carcinogenic, carcinogenic to humans. Just one hot dog or a few strips of bacon consumed daily increases cancer risk by 18%. The World Cancer Research Fund and the American Institute for Cancer Research have also found that the evidence on processed meat and cancer is clear cut. Processed meat is also linked to cardiovascular disease and death, according to a study that found people eating more than 150 grams of processed meat per week increased their risk of health disease and death by 46% and 51%, respectively, when compared to those who did not eat processed meat. A National Institutes of Health study of more than 500,000 people also found that those who consume the most processed meat have an increased risk of death from cardiovascular disease. Processed frozen foods, the impact on health. The health impact of processed frozen foods depends on the degree of processing and the specific ingredients. Some minimally processed frozen foods, like plain fruits and vegetables, can be part of a healthy diet. However, many frozen foods are high in sodium, added sugar, unhealthy fats, and artificial ingredients, while being low in fiber and essential nutrients. Regular consumption of these foods can contribute to various health problems. Many people either don't know or care whether the food they eat is processed, but a large number of processed foods have been linked to health problems such as heart disease, diabetes, hypertension, and certain forms of cancer. Even when you go to fast food chains, you are eating processed foods. The best practice is to prepare your meals at home, and if you struggle for time, then prepare them in advance and freeze them. Your health should be your number one priority. Examples of processed frozen foods. Processed frozen foods are foods that have been altered from their natural state and then frozen for preservation and convenience. The level of processing can vary widely, leading to a diverse range of products in the frozen food aisle. Examples of processed frozen foods. Frozen meals. These include pre made dinners, breakfast bowls, and pizzas that often contain a variety of ingredients, including meat, vegetables, sauces, and cheese. While convenient, they can be high in sodium, added sugar, and unhealthy fats. Frozen snacks and desserts. Ice cream, frozen yogurt, cookies, and other treats fall into this category. They are often high in sugar and saturated fat. Frozen processed meats. These include chicken nuggets, fish sticks, and hot dogs. which often contain added fillers, preservatives, and high levels of sodium. Frozen vegetables with added sauces or seasonings. While plain frozen vegetables are considered minimally processed, those with added sauces or seasonings can contain high levels of sodium and unhealthy fats. Frozen pastries and baked goods. These include pies, cakes, and croissants, which are often high in sugar and unhealthy fats. Make healthier choices by reading your labels carefully. Pay attention to sodium, added sugar, and unhealthy fat content. Choose plain frozen fruits and vegetables. Avoid those with added sauces or seasonings. Limit frozen meals, snacks, and desserts. Opt for healthier options like homemade meals and fresh fruits for snacks. Prioritize whole, unprocessed foods. Make these the foundation of your diet and use processed foods sparingly for convenience. Remember, not all frozen foods are created equal. By making informed choices and focusing on minimally processed options, you can incorporate frozen foods into a healthy and balanced diet. Ways to avoid processed foods. Purchase foods in their natural state, called whole foods. For example, purchase fresh fruits and veggies, minimally processed meats such as whole or cut chicken, fresh or frozen without added preservatives, whole cuts of beef, frozen or fresh without added preservatives, fresh or frozen fish without added preservatives, canned fruits and water are natural fruit juice, whole grain breads, nut butters without sugar or oil, unbleached flour. Always, always read labels for those unhealthy ingredients previously mentioned. The fewer the ingredients, the better. Cook meals from scratch, Yisrael. Cooking at home allows you to control the ingredients in your meals. Avoid highly processed meats such as deli meats, hot dogs, hamburger patties, sausages, bacon, etc. Avoid fast food establishments that mostly sell processed food. And that's what they sell, processed food. The hard switch. Why it can be hard to switch from processed foods to natural foods. Advertising. There are more commercials for unhealthy fast food than ads for healthy eating. Conditioning. We were raised on certain unclean and unhealthy foods and are afraid to let them go. I just refuse to let them go because of social, familiar, or cultural reasons. The family. I don't want to disappoint my family. I was born and raised eating it. I'm going to die eating it. Addiction. They have this food full of sugar, and sugar ain't nothing but a crack. Got the same effects as crack. The additives, which include flavorings, salt, sugar, and other unhealthy ingredients, have addictive qualities. That's why sometimes you can't put a bag of chips down. Oh, that's salt. And then you get ice cream. You can't put it down till you empty the tub. Same thing about a cake. Keep going back snacking on it all throughout the day. That's why they call it junk food, full of fillers and additives and addictive qualities that keep you eating more and more because it's full of fillers. The myth that all healthy foods are expensive. Yes, eating clean costs more in some food departments, but not all. and expense lowers when making food from scratch, Yisrael. Make food from scratch. It will lower your bill when eating healthy. And it's better to pay up front for healthier food than to pay later in medical bills, or even worse, pay with your life. Grow your own food or use a CSA called Community Supported Agriculture. They have them in small towns as well as big towns and big cities. Or visit a farmer's market. But going back to grow your own food, you can start with one container and have a container garden. I did it. And then increase every year. I did it. I come from a line of farmers. So it was in my blood. And I love growing my own food. I love growing it. I grow fruit, vegetable. I grow it. And I love it. And can't wait to move so I can have more land to expand. And that rhyme. Hitting pork ingredients. They had this hog and just about everything you could think of. Stuff you would never thought the hog was in. Shampoo, lotion, conditioner, body wash. You're like, okay, come on now. Toothpaste. They got it. You name it, it's going to be in it. Pork ingredients can often be listed under different names on food labels. So pay attention, Yisrael, when you go to these stores, which can make it challenging to identify them, and it does. Here are some common, though, alternative names you might encounter. So when you see meat-based ingredients, you see bacon bits or flavor on a particular food item, it can be listed simply as flavor or natural flavor. There's pork. Because if it wasn't, they would list the source. They masquerading, trying to hide. Ham flavor or extract may appear as flavor or natural flavor, also still pork. Pork broth or stock, sometimes labeled, I said mislabeled, because they do it intentionally, as animal broth or stock or natural flavor. Pork fat may be listed as lard, we know about that, or smokes or animal fat. So if you see an ingredient, say animal fat, that's pork. Prosciutto may be included as part of a charcuterie blend or listed under its Italian name. Additives and other ingredients derived from pork. Gelatin may be listed as E441. Hydrolyzed gelatin or simply gelatin. There's pork. L-cysteine, an amino acid sometimes derived from pig bristles, often used in baked goods as a dough conditioner. I have seen that too. I should have put enzyme on here, because enzyme, same way too. Derived from pork. You see enzyme. Isinglass, a clarifying agent used in some beers and wines, may be derived from pig bladders. Everything on the hog. Stearic acid, a fatty acid sometimes derived from pork fat, often used in chewing gum and candies. Carmine, cochineal, carminic acid, red food coloring derived from insects. I've seen that too. Sometimes processed with gelatin. Aloic acid, a fatty acid found in various animal and vegetable fats, including pork fat. Pepsin, a digestive enzyme sometimes derived from pig stomachs, used in some processed foods and medications. I forgot that too. You got to check your medication. Everything. They put their pork in. They use everything on that hog. Other terms to watch out for include animal protein, fat, or broth. These generic terms can sometimes include pork-derived ingredients. Natural flavor. This broad term can encompass a variety of ingredients, including those derived from pork. Hydrolyzed protein. Hydrolyzed protein. This can be derived from various sources, including pork. It's important to be diligent when reading food labels, especially if you have dietary restrictions or allergies. If you're unsure about a particular ingredient, don't hesitate to research it or contact the manufacturer for clarification, or just leave it at the store. And if you're in doubt, leave it out. Remember that. In doubt, leave it out. Remember, being informed and aware is the key to making choices that align with your dietary needs and preferences. Dairy products. Lactose intolerance. Dairy products are off the menu for 50 million Americans. That belly pain you're experiencing after consuming dairy could be lactose intolerance, a reaction to too much milk sugar in your diet. And back in the day, I was before I became a vegan. The disorder, which may cause mild to severe diarrhea, nausea, abdominal cramps, bloating, and gas about 30 minutes after eating or drinking foods that contain lactose, occurs when you don't make enough of the enzyme lactase, which breaks down the sugar in milk. It can be uncomfortable, but it is not life-threatening. About 50 million Americans suffer from lactose intolerance, many of them African American. And you wonder why? African Americans. Because it wasn't meant for us to consume it. Out of all the people, African Americans are the one. That's your body telling you it wasn't meant to consume dairy. The most I said it. And I'm going to ask you a question about it in a few minutes. This is your body telling you that this product doesn't belong in your body, in your diet. Contrary to the USDA guidelines, the dietary laws of God doesn't support their ideology that humans need calcium from cow's milk or dairy products. Since we don't obey God's dietary laws, then the natural order of things take place through what? Pain and suffering and discomfort. Our body is smarter than our mind, and it is trying to get our attention. All these diseases trying to get our attention is something we putting in our bodies that doesn't belong, Yisrael. That's why I'm taking my time and teaching this class tonight. I taught 4 classes, including this week. I care about God's people. I make the sacrifice to teach God's people. I take the time to research for God's people. I want God's people to be enlightened. I'm not trying to hide stuff from them or elevate myself above them. I don't mind being asked questions. I love to go back and forth talking and finding out stuff. That's why I said, Jonathan Evans, you had me to go back and check this out. I don't mind. I don't mind saying, okay, I was wrong. Well, I thought I knew this. But our body is smarter than our mind. It's trying to get our attention. That's why we have these diseases. Then we go right to the doctor instead of trying to figure out, what did I eat today? And go, what the doctor going to do? Put you on medication. And 9 times out of 10, you be on it for life. Hook. Because when you try to get off of it, guess what? Your body going to start behaving negatively. You cannot outsmart the dietary laws of God, Yisrael. You cannot. You have to return back to them. And isn't it ironic that most African Americans are the ones who are lactose intolerant? Go figure. It should tell you. But yes, we were chosen. And we can't be like the other nations. They drink milk, cow's milk. Think about that. When my eyes were open, I said, that does make sense when somebody say, why would you get another species, your child's to your child, get a milk of another species to your child. Why would anybody do that? You wouldn't go get a elephant milk to a fox. But humans supposed to be smarter than animals. The Creator put us on here to rule over these animals. But you don't see them going nursing with another different breed of an animal. That cow's milk is for a calf. Breast milk is for humans. Why would anybody go get another species milk to drink? And since it's in this thing, but since I'm already talking about it, show me where in the Bible, in the Holy Scriptures. Now, finishing out age. Lactose intolerance becomes more common as you age. The condition is uncommon in babies and young children. And it is very interesting to note that the longer we consume cow's milk or dairy products, the more pronounced the intolerance becomes. No other species continue to give their young milk after nursing, especially milk from another species. We have taken on the dietary ways of other nations. Cow's milk is full of hormones, antibiotics, pus, which is mucus, and other contaminants being given to cows. And then you wonder why these people are talking about I'm a female in a male's body. It's by design. I'm a male in a female's body. It's by design. All these people not just being wicked all of a sudden coming together and scheming. All this evil in the food supply. Our little children, look at your little children. Before they even get 12, have breasts, these girls, they developing early. If their milk full of hormones and all that unclean stuff gonna blow up, if it's gonna blow up a cow, it's gonna blow up your child. Look how big the calf gets in a year, and you give it to your child. You have these old perverse watching young children. Oh, I thought she was grown. I thought she was this age. Because they don't even look that age anymore. All this uncleanness in their food supply. Ethnicity. Lactose intolerance is most common in black, so-called black folks, Hebrews, Asian, Hispanic, and American Indian people. Some research suggests 75% of African Americans are lactose intolerant. Other studies note that 49% of us experience physical discomfort after eating dairy foods, with only 24% actually being lactose intolerant. Roughly 50% to 80% of Latinos have lactose intolerance. Keep an eye out for hidden lactose. So you have milk and lactose are often added to prepared foods. This is why it is important to cook meals from scratch, such as cereal, instant soups, salad dressings, non-dairy creamers, processed meats, and baking mixes. These have hidden milk or lactose in them. Check the ingredient list for milk and lactose. Also, look for other words that indicate lactose, and that's whey, milk byproducts, fat-free dry milk powder, and dry milk solids. So we call dry milk solids. Lactose is also used in medications. Go figure. Let your pharmacist know that you have lactose intolerance or avoid dairy products. Just tell them you avoid dairy. And question, it's the question I want to ask earlier, so I'm going to wait before I jump the gun, as they say. Where in the dietary laws do the Most High mentions dairy products that we can and cannot eat and drink? Something to consider. Where? Show me. Why isn't there a section on dairy products we can and cannot eat? That we can and cannot drink. He talks about the flesh of animals, swarming things, creeping things, fowls, and fish, but not one mention of dairy. He even talked about the fruit having a seed in it. I mean, there's a mention of seeded fruit and veggies, as well as a command not to consume animal fat or blood. So, where's the lesson in the Holy Scriptures on dairy products that we can and cannot consume? Israel, we have taken on the ways of other nations and how and what they eat, and that is forbidden in the laws of God. So please consider, where in the Holy Scriptures do you have a section in the dietary laws about dairy products that you can and cannot eat? Sugar substitutes versus natural sweeteners. And people wonder why they are diabetics. Diet, no sugar added, sugar free. So, what comes to mind when you see the words diet? No sugar added, sugar free, and sugarless. What comes to mind? Do you think artificially sweetened? If not, then you should, because unless it specifies that it is naturally sweetened, then more so than not, it contains a chemically produced sweetener, something that we cannot digest. Our body wasn't made, we're not artificial, and we're not chemical. Our body wasn't made to digest all of this stuff, and we wonder why we stay sick all the time, and our body be diseased all the time. Artificial sweeteners. Many foods contain artificial sweeteners, which are sugar substitutes that are often used to reduce calorie or sugar intake. Artificial sweeteners can also increase appetite and weight, disrupt gut health, and increase the risk of metabolic disorders like diabetes. It's best to use natural sweeteners and or consume sugars from natural sources like fruits. Unnatural sugar substitutes. We're going to talk about it. Acesulfate, acesulfame, potassiums, and the name it goes by in the stores are Sweet One, Sunnet. The source is its usage rather is soft drinks, gelatins, chewing gum, frozen desserts, but the source is a chemical. The next one is advertame, advertame. The source is a derivative of aspartame that is similar in structure. To neotame. That's aspartame. That is similar in structure to neotame. Its use is soft drinks, baked goods, chewing gums, confections and frostings, frozen desserts, gelatins and puddings, jams and jellies, processed fruits and fruit juices, toppings, and syrups. The next one is aspartame, known as NutraSweet and equal. Its use is drinks, gum, yogurt, and cough drops. Neotame. Shelf name is NutraSweet and Nutame. Its use is some drinks, dairy products, frozen desserts, puddings, fruit juices. Saccharin, known as Sweet and Low. Use is drinks, canned goods, and candy. Sucralose, known as Splenda. Its use is fruit drinks, canned fruit, and syrups. Sugar alcohols, known as sorbitol, xylitol, mannitol. Use is sugar-free candies, gum, and desserts. Now, natural sweeteners. That's what we should incorporate into our bodies. Natural sources. Honey. The sources from honeybees collect nectar and pollen from flowers. Their use in teas, marinades, dressings, glazes, baked goods. It has a lower glycemic index, GI, than sugar, so it doesn't raise blood sugar levels as quickly. However, it would still affect blood sugar levels. Agave syrup. The source is the nectar is a product of the agave cactus, and its taste and texture are similar to honey. Its use is is a good sweetener for cold drinks such as iced tea or cocktails, as a sweetener in hot drinks, baking, or other cooking, and can also be used as a topping for pancakes and French toast. It's a substitute for honey or sugar. Sucrose, the source is sugar. Its use is naturally in fruit, added to baked goods, jams, marinades, drinks, and salad dressings. Sucrose offers energy but no nutritional benefits. Stevia leaf extract. The source is derived from the stevia plant. Stevia leaf extract, also called Rebiana, is deemed a more natural alternative to artificial sweeteners. You can use it in drinks, diet sodas, light or low sugar juices, flavored waters, coffee, tea, smoothies, dairy, ice cream, flavored milk, and yogurt, and baked goods such as cakes and desserts, canned goods such as canned fruit and jams, condiments and dressings and sauces, and in breakfast cereal. Dates. The sauce is from a date palm tree. You use it. The easiest way to replace sugar with dates is by simply chopping and adding them to your dish. Add them to oatmeal, smoothies, or salads for a touch of sweetness. Another option is to blend them into a liquid called date syrup or paste. Date paste works as a sweetener and binder in baked goods. Date syrup can be used in place of typical liquid sweeteners in baked goods, on top of pancakes and waffles, in yogurt, oatmeal, hot chocolate, or smoothies. Walmart sells it. It's expensive. While dates are a concentrated source of sugar, they are considered low glycemic than other refined sugars. The fiber in dates helps balance out the sugar, preventing such a drastic blood sugar spike. This also, with the additional nutrients, make dates a great sugar replacement. Dates have numerous antioxidants. Maple syrup source derived from sugar maple trees and is widely used as an alternative option to avoid the use of refined sugar. It has a significantly lower glycemic index than refined sugar and thus can be used to reduce the risk of diabetes, obesity, and other metabolic diseases. Maple sap collect from sugar maple trees is boiled and concentrated to produce maple syrup. It contains a number of bioactive phenolic compounds, organic acids, amino acids, minerals and vitamins, phytohormones, and micronutrients, mainly carbohydrates. These compounds collectively enhance maple syrup's nutritional, pharmacological, and sensory properties. Maple syrup is a rich source of carbohydrates and thus provides a considerable portion of the average energy needs of the human body. Minerals such as potassium, calcium, zinc, sodium, iron, and magnesium, and vitamins such as niacin, thiamine, and riboflavin present in maple syrup are essential for various biological processes such as the synthesis of enzymes and hormones and maintenance of bone, muscle, heart, and brain functions. White evils or white lies. These are white flour, white bread, white sugar, white pasta, and white rice. So, what are white foods? White foods refer to foods that are generally white in color and that have been processed and refined. They've been processed, Yisrael. They were a different color, just like sugar. Original color of sugar is a light brown. So these foods been processed and refined like flour, rice, pasta, bread, crackers, cereal, and simple sugars like table sugar and high fructose corn syrup. So natural, unprocessed white foods such as onions, cauliflower, turnips, white beans, and white potatoes don't fall into this category. Of course, health goes out the window when you deep fry these or any other vegetables or slather them with butter, sour cream, or cheese. The difference between refined white foods and their healthier counterparts is processing and fiber. Most white carbs start with flour that has been ground and refined by stripping off the outer layer where the fiber is located. Think about that. They're going to take away the fiber. And then guess what the food's going to do? Vitamins and our minerals are frequently added back to enrich the product. Now, why would you take it away just to put something else back in it? Go figure. Source, WebMD. Further, many refined carb foods, particularly sweetened beverages like sodas, provide little nutritional value other than calories. And we should all know that. Less processed good carbs are higher in volume and tend to be more filling than refined ones. Controlling portions and your weight is easier when choosing foods that are filling. But keep in mind that not all whole grains are a good source of fiber. For example, brown rice is more nutritious than white rice because it contains the whole kernel of rice, but it's not necessarily a good source of fiber. In addition to being easy to overeat, refined carbs are less satisfying than good carbs. The body absorbs processed grains and simple sugars relatively quickly. Increased blood sugar triggers a release of insulin, and in an hour or two after eating, hunger returns. This leads to overeating and overweight. You're eating all this processed food. It's not good for you. You have a lot of carbs, and refined carbs are less satisfying than good carbs. They're polluting everything. White bread. When bread flour is refined, and they had to go in and do all of this. Why? The germ and bran of the grain are removed along with most of the fiber. They're taking everything that you need away. The vitamins and minerals stored within them during the milling process. This results in a product that's rich in carbs but lacking in other important nutrients like fiber and protein because they stripped it away to make it white. Research suggests that a higher intake of white breads is associated with weight gain, which may be partially due to its reduced nutritional value. Thus, reducing your intake of white bread and similar refined grain products may help you be more successful if weight loss is your goal. Healthier alternatives are rye, whole wheat, flatbreads. White rice, like white bread and pasta. White rice falls within a category of refined grains. White rice starts out as a whole grain, but the bran and germ are removed during the milling process, which transform it into the starchy, fluffy white rice you're probably quite familiar with. White rice is not an inherently bad or unhealthy food, but it doesn't contain much in the way of nutrition apart from calories and carbs. The absence of fiber and protein also makes it very easy to overeat white rice, which may contribute to weight gain or blood sugar imbalances. Healthy alternative to white rice. Brown rice is the simplest, most obvious substitute for white rice. After all, brown rice is just white rice that hasn't been processed to the same extent. It's higher in fiber, vitamins, and minerals than white rice, so you're getting more out of what is essentially the same plant. What's more, research has shown that brown rice affects blood sugar to a much lesser extent than white rice. If you don't like brown rice or just want to mix up your routine, you can consider other whole grain options, such as black rice, quinoa, or bulgur. White sugar, because they are primarily made up of simple carbs, added sugars require very little digestion. They are quickly absorbed into the bloodstream and can contribute to rapid blood sugar fluctuations. They have also been linked to negative health outcomes, such as unwanted weight gain and an increased risk of of heart disease, and an increased risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes. Healthier swaps includes date sugar, Healthier swaps include date syrup, honey, turbinado sugar, maple syrup, and agave nectar. White sugar alternative. If you have a sweet tooth and are finding it difficult to eliminate added sugars from your diet, opt for naturally occurring sources of sugar from whole foods like fruit or use natural sweeteners. Fruits contain simple sugars that are chemically identical to those in added sugars. However, they also pack vitamins, minerals, fibers, and antioxidants, all of which help minimize the harmful effects that may otherwise arise when consuming sugar by itself. White pasta. White pasta is similar to white bread in that it's made from refined flour that contains fewer total nutrients than an unrefined version. At the bottom of the healthy pasta list is white pasta. White pasta is tasty but doesn't have a lot of fiber, protein, or minerals. It does have a lot of carbs. White pasta should be eaten in moderation, not as part of your diet. Healthier swap, whole grain pasta. For nutritional boost, choose a pasta made from whole grains. Whole grain pastas typically contain more fiber, which can leave you feeling fuller and more satisfied. The extra fiber can also help slow your body's digestion of the carbs, supporting improved blood sugar control. You may also want to consider alternative pasta options, such as those made from legumes. Though the texture is slightly different, legume based pastas tend to have even more protein and fiber than most grain based varieties. And they are whole wheat pasta. Got healthy pasta options. They are whole wheat pasta. Whole wheat pasta, or whole grain pasta, is made from the entire grain of the wheat stalk, including the bran, endosperm, and germ. Wheat fiber, vitamins, and minerals are all in the noodles. Whole wheat pasta has lots of fiber that will make you feel full. And because it takes your body a long time to digest, it will prevent blood sugar spikes. Whole wheat pasta typically has about 8 grams of protein per cup. about as much protein as an egg. Chickpea pasta. Chickpea pasta is made from chickpea flour and water. It's a vegan pasta with the same nutritional value as an entire can of chickpeas. This tasty pasta has fiber, folate, magnesium, and potassium. Chickpea pasta also contains essential iron and amino acids. It has 12 grams of protein per cup and it's gluten-free. All those who have an aversion to gluten, wheat gluten. Legume-based pastas. Legume-based pasta is made with different types of beans and lentils. They are gluten-free and packed with protein and iron. They also contain iron, which most people don't get enough of. Soba noodles. Soba noodles are usually found in Asian dishes and can be served hot or cold. Traditional soba noodles are made from buckwheat, a seed, not wheat. When made conventionally, they are gluten-free and vegan. They have a lot of fiber and tend to absorb the flavors of anything they are paired with. Rice noodles. Rice noodles can be made from white or brown rice. They are gluten-free and have a high concentration of selenium. Selenium is a mineral that most people don't get enough of, but it helps regulate the thyroid. Rice noodles are typically used in Asian dishes as a substitute for rice. Made from either white or brown varieties, gluten-free rice noodles also contain selenium, an essential mineral for thyroid health, and manganese. Their neutral taste makes them a perfect substitute for rice in any dish, though they are often used in Asian recipes. Quinoa noodles. Noodles made from quinoa are very high in protein and fiber. However, in many cases, quinoa flour is mixed with corn or brown rice to improve the texture, which lowers the protein content and increases the carbohydrate content. Vegetable noodles. Have you already tried vegetable noodles? They're a hot food trend. Vegetable noodles aren't noodles. They are vegetables like zucchini, cut into long ribbons and used as a replacement for noodles in pasta dishes. Zucchini pasta is the healthiest vegetable because it has vitamin C, folate, and B vitamins. So zucchini pasta is the healthiest vegetable because it has vitamin C, folate, and B vitamins. Preservatives, artificial flavoring, artificial coloring, and other artificial ingredients. Does it belong in our body because we are not artificial? Avoiding food additives. The dietary laws governs which foods are clean and which are unclean. Eating clean is more important than ever because of who governs the food system in the land in which it is governed. A typical American diet consists of 90 processed food before it is consumed. Over 2,800 additives. You hear that, Yisrael? Over 2,800 additives are legally present in our food sources. Over 2,800 additives are legally present in our food sources. This was unheard of 50 years ago. These additives are disguised as colorings, flavorings, and preservatives. Many of us lead a busy and demanding lifestyle, and between work, school, and family, it is easy to reach for a dish that can be on the table in 20 minutes or less. This dish may be convenient in the present sense, but in the future sense, it could cost you your life. your health and wellness, and even huge medical costs. In a perfect world, it would be best to grow your own fruit, veggies, and nuts and raise your own livestock and then cook your food from scratch. This may be doable for a small few of us, but not realistically for most. And I get it, and we know it. It's nearly impossible to purchase food without some form of additive. You heard that? It's nearly impossible to purchase food without some form of additive. Food additives aren't new. Our ancestors used them to preserve meat and fish, used them, for example, herbs and spices to flavor dishes, and preserved fruit and veggies during the canning process. Besides the common additives of salt and sugar, there are natural and artificial flavorings, stabilizers, preservatives, and other chemical additives used in processing. These chemicals in our diet stresses the liver, heart, kidneys, and digestive system because our bodies weren't designed to accommodate them. The more natural or whole our foods are, the easier it is for our bodies to digest them. These foods that are factory processed lose much of their natural nourishment and are often more difficult for us to use because our bodies are not accustomed to many of the refined foods or chemicals which don't serve a specific function in our bodies. Our bodies are natural and it needs organic, natural, chemical free, GMO free, and GE free foods, nothing artificial. One way to limit our intake of artificial and synthetic food additives is to become a careful reader. We need to take responsibility for what we put in our bodies and on our bodies. It is our responsibility to take the lead. When in doubt, leave it out. So, you may be asking, what is a food additive? Oxford Dictionary defines it as a substance added to food to enhance its flavor or appearance or to preserve it. Some common additives, sources, and uses. You got BHA, butylated hydroxyl. Source, synthetic, use as an antioxidant in cereals, stabilizers, shortenings, and instant potato flakes. BHT, source, synthetic, use as an antioxidant in beverages, desserts, cereals, glazed fruits, dry mixes for beverages, and potato flakes and granules. This is synthetic, man made. Synthetic, it's not natural. Calcium disodium, EDTA. All of these sources I'm telling you guys now, I had this information close to 30 years ago. And when I was doing this research, I looked and found they still use the same thing. They still use it. Still use it. And that's why I said when it said 50 years ago. They still using it. Because I saw it on ingredients when I was doing my research. Still used it. And I had this information years ago, close to, I think it's over 30 years ago. You got calcium disodium, EDTA. The source is synthetic, man-made. Use flavor retention in canned soda and canned white potatoes as a preservative in dressings, egg products, oleo, margarine, potato salad, canned lima beans, canned mushrooms, and pecan pie filling. Calcium propionate, source synthetic, use used as a preservative in a wide variety of products, including bread, other baked goods, processed meat, whey, and other dairy products. Calcium stearate, source, a compound of calcium and stearic acid. Use, it is mainly used as a dough conditioner and is commonly used with other dough softeners such as monodiglycerides as an emulsifier, flavoring agent, anti-dusting agent, stabilizer, re- release agent, and or thickening agent, anti-caking ingredient, and some spices, especially garlic and onion salt, and in tablets. It is used as a mold released agent for pharmaceutical tablets and capsules. This is what I mean by in tablets. Monosodium glutamate, that's that MSG. Source, sugar, plants, beets, and corn. It's made by fermenting carb sources like sugar beets, sugar cane, and molasses. It's used as a flavor enhancer. It is often added to restaurant foods, canned vegetables, soups, deli meats, and other foods. And I read years ago it's known to affect your brain, cause problem with your brain, especially in young children. They had started banning it at a time in certain ingredients, in certain food products. Polysorbate 60, 65, 80. Source, stearic acid. Use, emulsifier in baked goods, frozen desserts, imitation cream, and especially in non-dairy products. Propylgallate, source, synthetic. Use, preservative in vegetable oil, meat products, potato sticks, chicken soup base, and chewing gum. Vanillin. Now, I forgot about this one right here. Most of your vanilla is not real vanilla. So let me read. Source, petrochemical raw material called guaiacol from wood bark of spruce tree or from other biomass sources. Organic material coming from plants. It's used as a flavoring. 99% of the vanillin today does not come from the vanilla beans. You hear that? 99% of the vanillin today does not come from the vanilla beans, but it's produced synthetically. The source is the Liberate Project. It's produced, it's man-made, chemical. That's a shame. It's like nothing is real. A hybrid, a GMO, a GE, a bioengineered. This food supply is corrupt, Israel. Corrupt. They don't know the Most High. That's why we have to know the Most High, because they are corrupt. And if we don't know the Most High, it's going to cause us our lives, cause our family their lives. We have to get this word out. Most of the food supply is corrupt. I created this manual to navigate. You can navigate this maze in these grocery stores. Know what to look for. I've been doing this for years when I go into the store. My family didn't even like to go to the store with me because I was staying there a long time. I'm going to read everything. But now I'm faster and I'm better with it because I understand what these words mean, because I've been doing it for years. I don't play when it comes to my health and my family's health. I read and I reread. And sometimes in the store, if I really want a product, I will call a manufacturer and ask. Sometimes they say, yeah, got pork in. I'm telling you the truth. I was okay, thank you. Move on. And then sometimes I previously bought a product and I see a change because my eyes just that fast. I notice a change and I call. We have a cheaper supplier this time, so we decided to go with the same supplier. Okay, thank you. And I move on because they always looking for cheaper ingredients. Organic, non-GMO, mean non-genetically modified organism. Got GMO, means genetically modified organisms. GE, genetically engineered foods. See all these terms? We're going to talk about hybrid later on too. I mean, they did in and everything to the food supply. Everything. Nothing is sacred. Everything. Seeds and everything. GMO seed. They say they can't sell GMO seeds to the public, but it's only for the farmers. But you know they lie all the time. But I'm just going to say what they say. They say that they prohibited from selling it to the public. But they can sell the public the food, though. Now think about that. Do that make sense? You can't sell the public GMO seeds, but you can sell them the food from the GMO seed. Okay, make that make sense. Introduction about these terms. America doesn't have a chronic disease epidemic because of fruit and vegetables. Think about it. It has a chronic disease epidemic because of all the added sugar, man-made artificial ingredients, ultra-processed foods, and genetically engineered and genetically modified food that are so far away from their whole and natural state that our bodies are resisting them in the form of obesity, cancers, hypertension, diabetes, strokes, food sensitivities, food allergies, and food intolerances. I want to repeat that again. America doesn't have a chronic disease epidemic because of fruit and vegetables. It has a chronic disease epidemic because of all the added sugar, all the man-made artificial ingredients, all the ultra-processed foods, all the genetically engineered and genetically modified foods that are so far away from their whole and natural state that our bodies are resisting them in the form of obesity, cancers, hypertension, diabetes, strokes, food sensitivities, food allergies, and food intolerances. Just like they have people got peanut and nut allergies. That was unheard of when I grew up. People gluten-free now. Unheard of when I was growing up. All this stuff is food related because they have corrupted this food supply. That's why yesterday I talked about the Daniel fast. It's a reason why I say what I say. It's preparing you for what I'm going to say next. So I set the groundwork yesterday so I can come with this heavy hitter information today. I mean, just about everything is corrupt. But not everything is corrupt because the Most High is with his people. And this is why the pharmaceutical industry is booming. They put stuff in the food to make you sick. And then you got to go to the doctor. And they keep you on medication because you'll never get healed. If medication heal you, then why you always constantly taking it? It doesn't heal you. It just subsides the side effects. And it's still there. Whatever disease you have, still there. It's by design. And these people love money so much, they will kill you for it, murder you for it. I never understood that. They won't think twice about it. Just like years ago when I grew up, they talking about mad cow disease because they were feeding the cow dead animals. Go out there and get roadkill. It came out and feed it to them. Their bodies wasn't made to eat other animals. They're made to eat grass. They're ruminants. Just like we were made to eat all this stuff. That's why we are dying at an exponential rate. Heart attacks, strokes, diabetes, cancers, and high blood pressure. All these different cancers I had never heard of growing up. And people need to think it's related to what you put in your body. And then they want to say what somebody in the New Testament say you can pray over anything and eat it. Okay, then why are people dying then? That's a lie. That's a lie. And you can show them, and they still won't believe it. I don't understand our people. They can't make the link, the connection that it has to be something in your body. Because they don't want to let this pork go. They call it pork. I was born eating it. I had somebody tell me that in my family. Oh boy, I'm gonna die eating that. So you sure are too. And myself, I'm done with you. Most I'm gonna take care of you. You try to tell them because you care about them. You don't want them to have all these health problems. And they fight you tooth and nail. I don't understand why. That's what I told you about earlier about this food is addictive. They love this food, don't want to let it go. They would die for this food. Anytime you keep eating something and it keep deteriorating your body and you won't let it go, something is wrong. Something is wrong. You would die for food. You love food that much. When I came into this way of life and I heard about the dietary laws when they taught them everything that I would eat, I let it go. I didn't have no problem with it. I didn't. I wanted to know the laws of God. That's what I was searching for it. So I embraced it. But these folks, no, they fight you tooth and nail over food. And they can see other people dying and struggling and going through all kind of health problems and situations. They still gonna eat it anyway. It ain't gonna affect me. Same thing about people smoking. They see other people going through all this stuff, all these medical problems and stuff, smoking, cancers and stuff, and they still gonna smoke. You got to die sometime, but I don't want to suffer. I don't want to cause my family all of that pain and suffering. People say it's stupid, this thing. But yeah, first, the farm industry grow and harvest unsafe crops that destroy our molecular and physical body makeup. Then we either, out of ignorance or resistance, purchase and consume them. Then the pharmaceutical company industry creates a drug for all our ailments. Think about that. It's a cycle. First, they give you the unclean food, sneaking into all kind of other food. If you're not watching, make you sick, you go to the doctor. Instead of you changing your diet, you keep on going to the doctor. Keep on, think about that. Keep on consuming the same food that sent you to the doctor. You're going to keep on eating it. Don't even change whatsoever. You tell us how people ain't blind. And these leaders cause them the air because they dumb dogs. They cannot bark. You keep on going through the same cycle over and over again. I'm going to go to the doctor. I'm sick. And I'm going to go right back and buy this same old food that made me sick and keep eating it. And still go to the doctor, keep getting medication. He gonna change the medication this time because it ain't do nothing for me the last time. My blood pressure still up. My stomach still hurting. I'ma still drink this milk. I'ma still put some butter on my pancake. I'ma still put some sugar in my spaghetti. I don't care what she said. I'ma still eat this cake. I know a woman was a diabetic and she still was sneaking and eating sugar food. And that what got her in a situation she was in. And she didn't even learn her lesson to change your diet. People love food too much. And these drugs cannot heal your body. Only natural food sources can. We come from the earth, and only natural earth elements and food sources can provide the nutrients that our body requires, Yisrael. It cannot be obtained or derived from synthetics or chemically made properties, nor genetically engineered or genetically modified food sources. That's fake food. They want to talk about vegan food and fake food. That's fake food. They the biggest fakers of them all. Fake food don't have no nutritional value. And you wonder why you keep on eating and eating it. You get up 20 minutes later, you got to go back. I'm hungry again. Because it don't have no nutritional value. You just eating it in vain. It does nothing for you but harm you. And that's why people, they want to call American. Other countries say, why are Americans so overweight? Because we had the most GMOs over here because the other country got enough sense to say, you ain't going to bring that mess over here. I was telling my sister that. And she was traveling to Europe. She said, she went to Germany. I told her about how they wouldn't even think about having organic Oreos over here. And they try to get a petition going to have them over here because they're already vegan. And they wouldn't do it. But in other countries, they did. So when my sister went over there, I think last year, she called and told me, she said, you were telling the truth. She said, I found organic vegan Oreos over there in Germany. These people ain't crazy. They told the United States, no, you can't bring that mess over here. And the politician people love selling them out every day. That's why they're rich. Go in, poor, and come out millionaires. But yes, still we gotta go vote. It's our God-given right. Our foreparents died for voting. They died for voting. Somebody should have told them back then. It ain't gonna do you no good. Most I set up who we gonna set up. And no matter who gets in office, they ain't gonna do nothing for you. No way, my sister. Want somebody to represent your color. It ain't gonna do nothing for you. I mean, just blind Israel, following blind Jews and blind leaders. You try to open their eyes, they put blindfolds on. Can't eat that, my sister. They don't want to hear it. How you stay in shape? You tell them like they get an attitude with you. You ask me. They don't want to hear that. I don't eat meat. I hadn't eaten meat since 97. I exercise just about every day of the week. I do this. I drink a lot of water. I do. Oh, my goodness. No, they don't want to hear that. I be in my garden. I grow a lot of my fruits and vegetables. They get an attitude. You ask. But yeah, this stuff cannot be obtained or derived from synthetics or chemically made properties, nor genetically engineered or genetically modified food sources. The children of Israel are forbidden to partake of these food sources. And the rest of the world are supposed to take our lead, for we are a priestly nation and a light to guide others to the path of righteousness, Yisrael. We can't partake of this nonsense, all this fake stuff. That's not real food. We have to separate ourselves, just like Daniel did. Daniel separated himself. He spoke up for his friends, his comrades, not just for himself. He wasn't selfish. That man was scared. Daniel said, I tell you what, and the Creator went before him. And they told you how the Creator changed that man's heart. That's what he'll do for us. He'll change the heart. He'll cause you to navigate in these stores and know what to pick and choose. That's why I'm teaching you now. That's one of my mission, was to teach the people of Israel the things they need to know. They need to know. And so I take my time and do research, teach you what you need to know. Go back to this blueprint. So what is organic? Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary defines organic as of relating to, yielding, or involving the use of food produced with the use of feed is without. Should be without. I don't know why they say without the use of feed or fertilizer of plant or animal origin, without employment of chemically formulated fertilizers, growth stimulants, antibiotics, or pesticides, i.e., organic farming, organic produce. Why is it important to eat foods that are organic? Organic food has no synthetic or toxic ingredients, antibiotics, or chemically produced substances that pose health-related illnesses or diseases, and they are earth-friendly. Some foods are organic without the organic seal of approval. According to the USDA, producers who sell the less than $5,000 a year in organic food don't need to be certified. So it's a waste of their time and money to go get certified because they hadn't broke the threshold. So these producers must follow the guidelines for organic food production, but they are not required to go through the certification process. They can label their products as organic, but they can't use the official USDA organic seal. What qualifies as organic? 100% organic. This label is used on USDA certified organic fruits, vegetables, eggs, meat, and other foods that have one ingredient. One ingredient would to be 100% organic. It may also be used on food items with many ingredients if all the ingredients are certified organic, except for water and salt. Organic, if you just see this term organic without the 100% organic, it means this label is used on food that has many ingredients, but at least 95% of the ingredients are USDA certified organic, except for salt and water. They don't certify salt and water as organic. The items that aren't organic must be from a USDA list of approved additional ingredients. These also may have a USDA seal. So if you see this term made with organic, if a product with many ingredients have at least 70% certified organic ingredients, it may have a made with the organic ingredients label. For example, a cereal bar might be labeled made with organic grains. The ingredient list must show which items are organic. These products can't carry a USDA seal. Organic ingredients. If you see this generic term that says organic ingredients, if a product has some organic ingredients, but less than 70% of the ingredients are certified organic, the product can't be labeled as organic and it can't have a USDA seal. The ingredient list can show which ingredients are organic. Natural versus organic. According to the Mayo Clinic, natural and organic are different. Natural is not federally regulated at all. So all these people talk about this natural, faking, trying to take advantage of the fact that people into natural. So it is organic is federally regulated, but natural isn't. So usually natural on a food label means that the product has no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. Natural on a label doesn't have anything to do with the methods or materials used in farming. In other words, natural foods may have been grown using artificial or synthetic pesticides, radiation, which is irradiation used to preserve food, to get rid of disease or pests, or antibiotics or growth hormones for farm animals, which is livestock. So you are what you eat. So these natural foods may not contain artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives, but they could have been grown using artificial or synthetic pesticides and radiation, antibiotics, or growth hormones. So it's best to go close to natural as possible. I mean, not natural, close to organic as possible. According to the Organic Produce Network, many people think the words natural or all natural on a food label mean it contains no artificial ingredients, GMOs, synthetics, pesticides, artificial hormones, or antibiotics, just like organic. But that's not true. Currently, there's no widely applicable standard for what natural means in food. It depends on the producer. So anybody can say whatever they want to. Oh, it's natural. Yeah, it's natural. Yeah, it sure was. Naturally made by me. And call it natural. It's no standard. Every man for himself. And they say this word natural to make money. Because people looking for natural because they think it's a step down from organic. It's close to organic, so I'm going to go get natural. And it's full of pesticides, growth hormones, antibiotics, and everything else. What is non-GMO? Non-GMO stands for non-genetically modified organism and refers to products that are not made using genetic engineering or ingredients from GMOs. Non-GMO foods are foods that do not contain genetically modified organisms. An organic label automatically means a product is GMO free, but a non-GMO label doesn't necessarily mean a product is organic. Remember that. In other words, it may contain pesticides. Just because it's non-GMO, it don't mean it's organic. It still may contain pesticides. You have a project called Non-GMO Projects Verified. You usually see it on a lot of containers. I think it's a greenish with black. And it says Non-GMO Project Verified. This label means that a product meets the non-GMO project's standards for testing, traceability, and segregation. The non-GMO project's verification mark includes a URL where customers can learn more about the standards. What is GMO? GMO stands for genetically modified organism. Genetically refers to genes. Genes are made up of DNA, which is a set of instructions for how cells grow and develop. Second, the modified. This implies that some change or tweak has been made. Lastly, we have the word organism. When it comes to GMOs, many people only think of crops. Yet an organism isn't just a plant. It refers to all living things, including bacteria and fungi. GMOs are plants, animals, or microbes that have had their genome altered through genetic engineering. Some examples are papayas, summer squash, potatoes. We finna get into all these different foods on this shelf that are GMOs. They have been genetically modified. So you got popular GMO products. And remember, everything I'm going over, it will be in PDF form. You can download. Because you're going to need this. Because I was surprised at some of this stuff on here too. I was surprised. And I watched my food, but still was surprised. Genetically modified organism. So you go into the store, unless you're getting it from a farmer's market, it says organic. Corn. I already know about that. They've been producing the top 2 producers of corn and soy. They do that for the animals. And think about it. If they give the animals all this genetically modified organism and you buying their flesh, what you think you are? And it's doing to you. So first on the list, corn is the most widely produced GMO. Soy, flour, canola oil, alfalfa. That's another one they use for grain for to mix in with for cattle. Sugar beet. That's the make your cheese and all your foods and cake goods sweet. Sugar, spinach, broccoli. Broccoli, when you get to a hybrid, I didn't know broccoli was a hybrid. Carrots, cauliflower, avocados, that's a hybrid too. Kale, bell peppers, tomatoes, cucumbers, potatoes, sweet potatoes, lettuce, apples, bananas, oranges, grapes, strawberries, blueberries, mangoes, pineapples, and watermelon. When you go to the store, they're genetically modified organism. Please check labels for products ingredients. Always read the label. And when looking at the produce sticker, if the code starts with a 9, it indicates that the item is organic. Those little stickers you see on your produce have numbers. If it starts with a 9, it indicates that the item is organic. As I said, I will have this in PDF form for you to download, so you don't have to worry about it. What is GE? Genetically engineered. Genetically engineering, also called genetic modification, is a process that uses laboratory-based technologies to alter the DNA makeup of an organism. Genetic engineering allows scientists to target specific genes, avoiding the introduction of undesirable traits. For example, genetic engineering may involve adding a gene from one species to an organism from a different species to produce a desired trait. Used in research and industry, genetic engineering has been applied to the production of cancer therapies, brewing yeast, genetically modified plants, and livestock. I mean, they have it in everything. Make a long story short. GE and bioengineered. Many GMO crops are used to make ingredients that Americans eat, such as cornstarch, corn syrup, corn oil, soybean oil, canola oil, or granulated sugar. A few fresh fruits and vegetables are available in GMO varieties, including potatoes, summer squash, apples, papayas, and pink pineapples. Bioengineering is the process of changing an organism's DNA. This often results in foods that have been changed in an unnatural way. Unnatural. That's why I said we can't consume this stuff. It's unnatural and are not good for our health. These bioengineered food products can introduce novel organisms into our bodies that can cause harm. The standard defines bioengineered foods as those that contain detectable genetic material that has been modified through in vitro recombinant deoxyribonucleic acid, which is rDNA techniques, and for which the modification could not otherwise be obtained through conventional breeding or found in nature. I mean, ain't found in nature whatsoever. They go in the labs and conjure up some, like you conjuring up some spirits. That's evil. I mean, I don't understand this. The stuff is already producing naturally, but they got to go in and alter it, mess it up. Just show you how wicked they are. But how people want to be like them. They want to marry them. They love them. As soon as they get some money, they want to go live up under them. Popular hybrid foods is another one that shocked me. Leviticus Chapter 19, verse 19. I'm going to show you. The creator said, you must not sow your field with two different kinds of seeds because they might crossbreed. And just what hybrid foods are, crossbreeding. Deuteronomy 22 and 9. You must not plant your vineyard with two kinds of seed because they might crossbreed and produce some unseemly thing, some detestable thing. Otherwise, the entire yield, both of the seed you plant and the produce of a vineyard, will be defiled, detestable. It's going to be defiled. You can't eat it. Christ said that's unnatural. And these folks doing all this unnatural stuff. Christ said, don't you do it. That's why I told you. I'm going over this stuff. It's in the Holy Scriptures. And look at the hybrid foods out here. Plum cot. It's a plum and apricot. That's the breed. Crossbreed. Pluot. Plum and apricot. Pluary. Plum and a cherry. Peacherine. Peach and a nectarine. Peacotum. Peach, apricot, and plum. Mandarin quat. Mandarin and kumquat. Sungold tomato. Cherry type hybrid tomato. You have a banana. I didn't know a banana was a hybrid. But I think they did, said Dr. Saber said that, if I'm not mistaken. I just had to be refreshed. Avocado. I didn't know a grapefruit was a hybrid either. But I forgot to put where the grapefruit was a cross between. But the grapefruit is a hybrid. Rampart, when it's a mandarin orange and a citron. Tangelo, a tangerine and a pomelo. Blood lime, a red finger lime in Ellendale mandarin. A lime quat, a key lime and a kumquat. Broccolini, broccoli in Guyland. Pineapple is a hybrid food from many different flowers. I didn't know that either. Broccoli, you're like, oh my goodness gracious. So hybrid foods, they are bred 100% naturally, whether with the aid of humans or not. So they plant them. They do the opposite of what the Most High said. They plant them within distance so they can be pollinated by each other. So the Most High just don't do that. That's why he said, don't plant them in the same field, because he knows that the wind can blow the pollen from one to another, and they crossbreed. The Most High not about that life. And these folks are. That's why they said, whether with the aid of humans or not. They're talking about the air, the weather. But you can prevent that. Most High said, don't grow them in the same field. Don't do it. Tips for grocery shopping. We almost finished, Yisrael. Tips for grocery shopping. Purchase organic if possible. I already know everybody can't purchase organic, including me. But I purchase most of my fruits and vegetables organic. At a minimum, purchase food that are labeled non-GMO certified. They just might have some pesticide in it at least, but at least it's not GMO. And that's the worst. Purchase canned veggies that are low sodium or no salt added. Purchase canned foods that have BPA-free lining. You want to talk about that too, BPA. That's another one that's messing up the food supply. And the linings of these cans, you have your products in your cabinet and sitting there for a while, and it's not BPA free. That stuff is going to seep into your food. And always read ingredient lists. Familiarize yourself with the symbols on product packaging. For instance, fair trade, cruelty free, GE, GMO, non-GMO, B Corp. Know what these terms mean. Always avoid products with artificial ingredients, artificial preservatives. Should have had that on there too. But it's under artificial ingredients. Avoid white flour, white rice, and white sugar. Call the customer service number on products for the sources of ingredients that are questionable. I do it. I used to do it a lot until I got comfortable in knowing what these words meant. So I haven't done it in a while. But call that customer service number. They have to tell you because they know people have food allergies. They can get in trouble with holding information. They have to tell you, Yisrael. And they will tell you. Because one time they had a cross between. They had one good, clean one leaving out, other one coming in. So she told me she didn't know which batch it was. I said, okay, I just leave it alone then. She didn't know which batch because it came right near each other. One was leaving out, the other one was coming in when they changed over. So she didn't know which, it wasn't labeled. The batch wasn't labeled, so she couldn't tell me which batch was clean and the other one's unclean. So I left it alone. So in doubt, leave questionable products on the shelf. Just leave it out until you can verify the source of the ingredient. Purchase whole foods in that natural or close to natural state. Instead of purchasing cut up vegetables, purchase the whole carrot and cut it up yourself. They put preservatives in this stuff so it can last on the shelf until you buy it. That's why preservatives are in it. They don't know how long they average. They have an idea how long it's going to stay there before it get purchased. Some don't get purchased. Get freezer burn. I think get rid of it, discard it. So purchase foods in a whole natural or close to natural state. Look for sales. I do. Closeouts, reduced, overstocks, discounts. I get a lot of my organic vegetables and fruit and vegan products. They'll have a whole year or something on it. I go there and take everything off the shelf. Oh my goodness, stuff be expensive. I go get everything off the shelf. And Kroger often have it. A lot of vegan foods and stuff they have a clearance or reduce or closeouts. And dry beans are cheaper than canned. You get more bang for your buck. Healthy cooking methods. Healthy cooking methods include roasted foods. It's in the Holy Scriptures. And when you roast your foods, you have less added fats. More nutrients are preserved. It's tastier, creates an appealing texture, produces succulent and tender meat, requires minimal interference, improves appearance, allows any excess fat to roll right off of the rack. Eliminate the need for salting food, produces meat juices. Baked foods is lower in fat, retain more nutrients, meats are juicier, tastier, and richer in flavor. Healthier than fried, reduced calories, reduces health problems. Boiling or steaming. Moist heat cooking methods such as boiling and steaming are the healthiest ways to prepare meats and veggies because they are cooked at lower temperatures. For vegetable preparation, steaming is more advantageous than boiling because steaming retains nutrients such as carotenoids, carotenoids, and phytochemicals. Boiling can cause water-soluble nutrients like vitamins B and C to leach out into the water, but they are retained when steaming. Boiled foods retain their natural flavor without the addition of fats or oils used in sauteing or frying. Boiled foods are easily digestible. That hard fried food, is it? So microwaving food, for all those who use microwaves, use it at your own risk. While I haven't come across any harmful effects from microwavable use, it is better to err with caution. You should avoid microwaving plastic containers that weren't intended for the microwave, such as takeout containers. When you buy food from takeout establishment, don't go home and put it in the microwave the next day and warm it up like that. That stuff's gonna disintegrate and it's gonna leach into your food. Margarine tubs and whipped topping bowls. And also, the further you are away from the microwave when it's on, the less the microwave energy affects you. Microwaves don't make food radioactive. The food absorbs the microwaves and doesn't retain them. That's what they say. Microwaves use non-ionizing radiation, which is generally safe and different from the ionizing radiation that can cause cancer. Holy scriptures for cooking. And they shall eat the flesh in that night. Roast. That's why I talked about roast. Roast with fire and unleavened bread. That's the Passover. With bitter herbs, they shall eat it. Exodus chapter 12, verse 8. And he said unto them, this is that which Yah has spoken. Tomorrow is a solemn rest, a holy Shabbat unto Jehovah. Bake that which you will bake, and seed means to boil, that ye will seed. And all that remaineth over, lay up for you to be kept until the morrow in the morning. Exodus chapter 16, verse 23. Other healthy cooking methods are crock pot, pressure cooking, grilling using wood pellets instead of charcoal. It's even more healthier to roast meats whole instead of cut up into pieces. For example, whole chicken, whole turkey. Unhealthy cooking methods. Frying food. Where in the Holy Scripture anybody fried food? I ain't hear Moses say, fry that what you going to fry for today and tomorrow you lay it up. Fried foods are high in saturated fat and trans fat, so they promote plaque buildup in arteries that can put you at risk for obesity, coronary artery disease, heart failure, heart attack, and stroke. Fried foods are known to increase blood cholesterol levels and damage the walls of your arteries. These damaged areas in your blood vessels eventually develop plaque, narrowing the artery and making it hard to pump blood. Deep frying at high temperatures with starchy foods can lead to oxidation of oils. Oxidized oils can be damaging to your heart, lungs, and kidneys. It can also lead to high blood pressure and arteriosclerosis. Not only does frying food give it a new taste and texture, but it also gives it a different nutritional makeup. Because you boiling all I'm not boiling, you frying all the nutrients out of it. Think about that when you frying it at that high temperature. All the nutrients. That's why people be salting and putting all these seasonings on the food. Well, you frying it all out. Bake, boil, broil. You can broil it also too. Your food. Barbecue and grilling foods. When cooking over high heat, especially in the open flame, you are exposed to two main carcinogens, the HCAs and PAH. Studies have shown that HCAs and PAH cause Changes in DNA that may increase the risk of cancer. HCAs develop in meat when amino acids and creatine muscle proteins react to high heat. Time is your enemy. The amount of HCAs increases the longer the meat is exposed to the heat. PAH are chemical produced as fat burns in the flame and can attach to meat cooking over an open flame. When grilling, you're also exposed to PAH in smoke. Cigarette smoke and air pollution also contain PAH, which partly explains why smoking and air pollution are linked to different cancers. Unhealthy food methods. What is it? Carcinogens. Carcinogens, pronounced carcinogens, are substances that may increase your risk of developing cancer. Carcinogens do not guarantee cancer, and their effect varies in each person. Some common carcinogens in food include aflatoxin, a class of toxic metabolites, metabolites, that's what they are, metabolites, produced by certain species of fungi. Alcoholic beverages, all types of alcoholic beverages, including fermented and distilled, can cause cancer. Ooh, I didn't know that. Acrylamide, formed when starchy foods are browned, such as frying potatoes, toasting bread, and roasting coffee. Nitrates and nitrites used to preserve processed meats. BPA. You see that on a lot of plastic containers when it said BPA free, and also on some canned goods it said the lining is BPA free. Bisphenol A can leak into food stored in products like water bottles, canned foods, and Tupperware. Potassium bromate, a flour additive that has toxic and carcinogenic effects. Butylated hydroxyanisole is a preservative that is a possible human carcinogen. It's the last one, Yisrael. Nursing versus bottled milk. Talked about that yesterday. Nursing. Why nurse? The benefits, the natural order of things. The benefits for the baby. Optimal nutrition. Breast milk provides the ideal mix of nutrients that are easily digested and absorbed by the baby's developing system. It adapts to meet the baby's changing needs as they grow. Immune system boost. Breast milk contains antibodies and other immune factors that help protect babies from infections and illnesses such as ear infections, respiratory infections, diarrhea, and allergies. Reduce disease risk. Breastfeeding has been linked to a decreased risk of chronic diseases later in life, including obesity, type 1 and type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and certain types of cancer. Healthy weight gain. Breastfed babies tend to have a healthier weight gain pattern, reducing their risk of childhood obesity. Cognitive development. Research suggests that breastfeeding may support brain development and cognitive function, leading to improved intelligence and academic performance. Benefits for the mother. Faster recovery from childbirth. Breastfeeding stimulates the release of hormones that help the uterus contract, reducing postpartum bleeding and aiding in the return to pre-pregnancy size. So you want to get back to that pre-pregnancy size, my sister? Breastfeeding. Reduce disease risk. Mothers who breastfeed have a lower risk of breast and ovarian cancer, type 2 diabetes, and osteoporosis. Weight loss. Breastfeeding burns calories and helps mothers return to their pre-pregnancy weight more quickly. Bonding and emotional well-being. Breastfeeding promotes a strong emotional bond between mother and baby, reducing stress and promoting feelings of relaxation and happiness. Convenience and cost effectiveness. Breast milk is always available at the right temperature and it is free. Hallelujah. Thank you, guys, for riding with me. Overall, breastfeeding is a natural and beneficial way to nourish and protect infants, and it also offers significant health advantages for mothers. It is recommended by health organizations worldwide as the optimal way to feed babies for at least the first 6 months of life, with continued breastfeeding along with complementary foods for up to 2 years or beyond. And I highlight it, 2 years or beyond. So Genesis chapter 21 verse 8 says, the child grew and was weaned. Abraham prepared a great feast on the day that Isaac was weaned. Isaiah chapter 28 verse 9. Who is Yah trying to teach? To whom is he explaining a message? To those just weaned from milk. They're talking about the breast milk too. You will see. To those just taken from their mother's breast. I told you there's no bottled milk feeding in the Holy Scriptures. 1 Samuel chapter 1 verse 22. But Hannah did not go up with them because she had told her husband, not until the boy is weaned, then I will bring him so that he may appear before Yah. And some say, I don't know it to be true, said they would breastfeed up until 5 years of age. So I hadn't seen anything to confirm that. In conclusion, while this list isn't all inclusive, please do your research, your own research before consuming any food product. This manual serves as a guide to navigating the difficult maze of choosing food that are in line with our culture and in line with God's dietary laws. This is not medical advice, and you should seek the advice of a medical professional before suddenly changing any diet, as your body may need time to adjust to the change, to the new change. It was a pleasure creating this manual, and I enjoyed the process. May the blessings of the Most High, Yah, rest upon all those who seek Him with a perfect and sincere heart. Be blessed. Shalom. But I will be coming back to the comment section. Hallelujah. So let me take a brief break and get some water. I'll be right back, y'all. I will be right back. Thank you for staying with me to the end. Hallelujah. Okay, I'm back. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Get the comments. Shalom alaikum, peace and blessings, Code Yisrael. For anyone who doesn't know, Hebrew code means to all Yisrael. Shalom alaikum, Jonathan Evans. Toda Rabbah for riding with me. Shalom, my beloved sister. Praise the Almighty Yah, the Elohim of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, the true and living Elohim, who stands alone. He does. He gets all praises, the highest honor, the greatest glory. Hallelujah. Shalom. Is there a certain pigeon? The pigeons you see in the park? I just saw pigeon. It was a general mentioned pigeon. So I'm sure when it's general like that and they don't specify and break them up like they did the fish and then lizard, when they said monitor lizard and sand lizard, I'm sure when they said pigeon, they talking about the whole group of pigeon. Because usually when they specify a different breed of it, they'll say, okay, well, this monitor lizard or this sand lizard or this kind of lizard. They just said pigeon. I saw on that too, peacock. I said, oh no, I don't know about that. I was surprised when I started looking into this. And you said, did you check on a giraffe? It says giraffe. I thought I had it in the list. I might have omitted it, but I thought I had it in the list. But yeah, it said giraffe was clean. It was a ruminant. Sure did. So that's why I was mentioning earlier that you were correct. The giraffe. I don't know who want to eat it, but they said it almost said stink. And they said it'll be hard for you to catch one of those. Talking about killing it because it's not domesticated. But yeah, I checked on a giraffe. It said it was ritually clean. And they claimed that it was mentioned as a word Zemer in the Holy Scriptures back in the day. And when they mentioned that word in some of these Bibles, I forgot what Bible they said. They said it meant it meant a giraffe. They said that word meant a giraffe. But this is the word I saw. And it said it was referring to a giraffe. That word right there. In one of the Bibles. But yeah, I thought I added. So I know it's much work and life preserving. I will be doing more label checking in stores. Total bye. But yeah, I thought I had added it to that about the giraffe. It's a clean animal. But I thought I had added it. I probably forgot it. Because I was running late. I was supposed to have started this lesson at 7:30. But I want to go over it because I like to always make certain I don't have any wrong information. The pigeon, it was general. So like I said, if it meant a certain species of the pigeon, they would have said it. But when they usually say something general, it applies to the whole species. That was a long journey. My goodness. That's why I'm going to take my time. Because I look at the time, I'm like, I got to hurry up. I start speaking, trying to read fast. But I can't do that. People going to look at what they going to look at. I can't do that. To the Most High people, be trying to rush to get up out of here because some people have a short attention span. I'm like, they can stop it. Like I do some people, stop it and come back and look at it another day. You don't have to consume all of it at the same time. So like I'm gonna start speaking fast because I talk fast anyway. And I be trying to pace myself and talk slow in front of the people. Because I've been told, you talk too fast. And when I get excited, I do. But I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress. I completed one half of the Adam and Eve lesson. I do a lot of writing and searching. Hallelujah. When I go over lessons. Hallelujah. That's the best way to do. You have to learn it for yourself. And you retain it longer and you will know it to be facts. Total Rabbi for all the other 4 people that's out there. Told everybody for staying with me this long. I did purchase a Septuagint Bible, and I like it. I watch a Hebrew named Israel. He has many interesting lessons. Yeah, you're going to have to let me know his channel. What's his channel name? Yeah, it was a long lesson, though. That's my. So next week, I'm talking about divorce. All these people getting divorced. It is very hard to get a divorce among Israel, according to the Most High. But yet our people do it. They're going to be surprised next week. Yeah, be surprised. A lot of people around here committing adultery. Have committed adultery and still committing it. These guys get in and out of marriage. The Creator don't play when it comes to a covenant. I'm going to do a lesson on covenants too and show how serious they are. You need to double think about getting in front of the Most High lying. Do you know his channel? I guess you might be gone. Well, I'm going to get ready to close out. No other questions and comments? Okay, Israel. Okay, I'll do that. So I might rest tomorrow. I've been busy all this week. All of my lessons been close to 3 hours. All of my lessons. I had to teach it. But my lesson about the woman and man ruling together in Genesis and stuff, that lesson was way over. I just cut a lot of it out because I looked at the time and I said, oh no. I might do another lesson on that because I had about another whole hour. I just cut a lot of stuff out. I can take my time and explain to people. But Torah Rabbah, for everybody who's been with me this long, may the blessing of the Most High Yah be with you guys. And I hope tomorrow you have a blessed Shabbat day. You can relook at this program tomorrow while you're resting, napping, and sleeping, and eating. And that would be a blessing to you. Cincinnati has an online conference tomorrow. Oh yeah, I saw them Isha. He was rebroadcasting and they started late. They're supposed to have started at 1:55 because it showed up in my notification, but they didn't start in time. But yeah, I heard Obadiah last week was saying that you got the conference back again. I said, oh man. Because he had came back because he was absent for a while. And I saw Naphtali did an interview or something. I didn't see it, but it came up on my feed. He did a interview. I think it was yesterday. But yeah, they need to come together because we getting further and further away from each other with all our different ideologies and precepts and customs. No unity. Ever since that split between Rehoboam and Jeroboam, is no unity since. But with that said, I'm getting ready to close out. I would try to fast during the Shabbat. I was going to go. I made the next one. I make the next one. Yeah. I usually fast on the Shabbat anyway myself. I be too tired to cook or do anything. Sometimes I just be studying my lesson before I know it. The Sabbath day is over. Instead of the lesson, I went all day long prepared on this. I always, relook at all of my lessons. So I went over the lessons before I came before you guys. I didn't eat all day long. I don't get ready to eat now. And go watch some YouTube. Might check my Blue Sky. But I'm probably watch some YouTube. I might check the conference out. That's what I might do. See, that's what I probably do. If not, it might be checking me out. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope to see you next week. All is well. May the blessings of the Most High Yah continuously rest upon all of his servants, even the children of Yisrael. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Oh, thank you, Felicia. May y'all bless you too. May y'all bless you too. That's so sweet. You too, Jonathan Evans. Let me see, make sure. Told Rabbi. Jonathan Evans told Rabbi. I stay busy. I stay busy. I mean, even when I'm not on the internet, I'm doing something behind the scenes for to get out here in front of you guys. I stay busy. I love it though. I love it. That's why I pray a lot, meditate a lot, because I love the Most High show when He shows me stuff. I love it. I be excited. I love talking about it. But I hope to see you guys next week. In the meantime, shalom, shalom, shalom. Thank you, Felicia, Coach Felicia, and thank you, Jonathan Evans, our key Jonathan Evans. You're going to have to call me, Jonathan Evans. You got to look at my thing and get my email address, and I'll give you my number. Anybody, welcome to email me. And if you want to follow me, I'm on Blue Sky. It's at the beginning of my of this video. I hang out there. I had some nuts though. Be subscribing to my channel. I don't know what's going on with that. Some all kind of wickedness. All these OnlyFans. I'm like, do I look like that? I roll like that. All the OnlyFans female. I don't know what's going on with that. That's just evil. And then 2 Africans in 1 week. I just been on that week begging me for money. I had to block them. What's going on with this nonsense? I need to get off Blue Sky. That's the first social media other than YouTube I've been on it. I'm like, I'm ready to get off. I don't know what's going on. Those, it's like Sodom and Gomorrah over there. Anything goes. And people flocking from Twitter over there because anything goes. It's just ridiculous. But that's why I hang out with over there sometimes at Blue Sky. It's at Morah, Bahtshevah. In the meantime, you guys have a blessed Shabbat day tomorrow. Shalom, shalom. Get ready to close out to the prayer. Praise the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the creator of the heavens, the earth, the seas, and all that in them is. My Savior, my Redeemer, even the Savior and Redeemer of Israel. Almighty Yah, I give all honor, all glory, and all praise to you, Most High God, also known as the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose name was changed to Yisrael, who is the Elohim of our forefathers, the Holy One of Yisrael, our forefathers' God, the God of the Hebrews. As this Bible study has come to a close, I thank and praise you for giving us the opportunity to learn, the capacity to understand, and the willingness to increase our knowledge of your laws through the testimonies of your prophets, the ancient messengers of our forefathers, the opportunity to teach your word, which are your laws, and for us to be a light and to delight in your laws, that if a man walks therein, he should live. I pray that you protect us, guide us, and strengthen us with all the necessary tools to encounter our trials and tribulations each day. I thank you for the knowledge we obtain in class, and that you bless us to be able to impart our knowledge for the benefit of others as we serve you. Help us to be prepared for the challenges we face each day, to be open to giving of oneself to further your service, to be responsible in all we do, to be accepting of our differences, to be kind in our thoughts, and words, to be aware of our talents that can be used to glorify you in righteousness and to help us to be the best possible version of ourselves. I also thank you for all those who are in attendance. Our key, Jonathan Evans, our coach, Felicia, and all those unknown and unseen faces. I pray you continuously guide and protect us, and that you impart us this knowledge, to be able to impart it to others, and that you bless all of us exponentially for setting time aside each week to study your holy scriptures. May you continue to bless and guide us as we leave this class, and may the things we learn remain in our day-to-day activities. I thank you for all the blessings, mercies, benefits, and grace that you have bestowed upon all of your servants, even the children of Yisrael. For truly you've been good to Yisrael, for your mercies endure forever. They're new each day, and I thank you for them. Selah.
Putting God Back into Our Relationships, weekly Bible study series with Morah Bahtshevah on Thursdays at 7 to 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. The first week, The Law and the Testimony, the Relationship series. The second week, Learn Not the Ways of the Nations. The third week, Jewels of Wisdom, the blind leading the blind, the leaders cause the people to err, and the fourth week, Jewels of Wisdom Remix 2.0, Bible study in 42 minutes or less. This has been a 12 Tribes Strong presentation.